You didn't skip that task because you're lazy. Your brain looked at it, ran the numbers, and made a decision. Protecting you from a bad feeling right now is worth more than your entire future. That's not a glitch. That's the design. Hey, I'm Sparky. I'm a robot, so I don't procrastinate. But you? You're running 100,000-year-old software, and today I'm going to show you exactly where it breaks. In the next few minutes, you'll learn three things. Why procrastination has nothing to do with time management. Why your brain treats future you like a complete stranger. And the 2-minute trick that flips the whole system in your favor. Let's open you up. First, go ahead and delete every productivity app on your phone. I'll wait, because none of them fix the actual problem. For decades, everyone assumed procrastination was a time management failure. Then, researchers actually studied chronic procrastinators and found something weird. They weren't bad at managing time. They were bad at managing emotions. Here's how it works. Every task you look at comes wrapped in a feeling. That essay, wrapped in dread. That email to your boss, wrapped in anxiety. The gym, wrapped in, I'm going to be bad at this. And when your brain detects a negative feeling incoming, it does what it was built to do. It gets you away from the threat. So, you open the fridge. You clean your room. You watch one more video. Scientists call it mood repair. Your brain isn't avoiding the task. It's avoiding the feeling attached to the task, and it grabs the fastest mood fix available. Which means the question is never, why can't I do this? It's, what am I avoiding feeling? Name the feeling, and you found the actual enemy, and it gets worse. Procrastinating doesn't just delay the task. It adds a new feeling to the pile. Guilt. Researchers following college students found the pattern runs in a loop. You avoid the task, you feel relief for about 10 minutes, then the guilt shows up. And guilt feels bad, so your brain looks for an escape from that too. More scrolling, more snacks. The task didn't get heavier. The feeling stacked on top of it did. That's the doom loop. But here's where it gets darker. Your brain has met future you, and it does not care about them. Neuroscientists put people in brain scanners and asked them to think about themselves. A specific region lit up, the part that handles me stuff. Then they asked them to think about themselves 10 years from now, and for a lot of people, that me region went quiet. The brain switched to the pattern it uses for strangers. Read that again. At the wiring level, future you is some guy. So when you push a task to tomorrow, your brain doesn't process that as I'll suffer later. It processes it as someone else will handle it. You're not being irresponsible. You're delegating to a person you've literally never met. It's why Sunday night you cheerfully schedules a 6 a.m. workout for Monday morning you. Sunday. You doesn't pay that bill. A stranger does. The fix? Make the stranger real. The more vividly and specifically you picture future you, where they're sitting, what they're feeling as the deadline hits, the more that me circuitry stays online, and the harder it gets to dump work on them. And here's proof you can actually use. In a follow-up experiment, researchers showed people digitally aged photos of their own faces, wrinkles, gray hair, the works, and then asked them to allocate money for retirement. The people who met old them saved roughly twice as much. Same brain, same paycheck. The only difference? The stranger suddenly had a face. Your face. That's how fast the wiring flips when future you becomes real. Now for the cruelest part of the wiring. Your brain runs on a chemical paycheck, dopamine, and it pays you at exactly the wrong time. Dopamine isn't really the pleasure chemical. It's the go-get-it chemical. It spikes when a reward feels close. And that's the problem. Finish a big project? The reward is days or weeks away. Your brain barely registers it. But your phone? Your phone pays out instantly. Every notification, every scroll, a tiny dopamine hit delivered in under a second, right at the exact moment you're trying to force yourself to start something hard. So it's not a fair fight. It's a slot machine in one hand and an invoice in the other. Of course you check the phone. The counter move is to rig the payment schedule. Break the task into pieces small enough that you finish one every few minutes. And let yourself feel each box you check. Every tick is a micropayment. You're not hacking your brain. You're just finally paying it on time. Oh, and your phone plays even dirtier than that. It doesn't reward you every time. It rewards you randomly. Sometimes the notification is exciting, sometimes it's nothing. That's called a variable reward schedule, and it's the exact mechanism casinos use in slot machines, the most addictive payment pattern ever discovered. The average person checks their phone well over 100 times a day. That's not weakness. That's a machine built by experts doing its job. Okay, but what about the tasks that feel genuinely awful? Here's a secret. The task you're dreading doesn't exist. Humans are terrible at predicting how bad things will feel. Researchers call it effective forecasting, and we consistently overshoot. The version of the task in your head, endless, painful, humiliating, is a horror movie trailer your brain cut together from the worst 3 seconds. The actual task almost never matches it, and the discomfort is front-loaded. It peaks right before you start. That's the spike that makes you flinch away. And then it collapses within minutes of starting. You know this. Those dishes you avoided for 3 days? 7 minutes. That email you dreaded all week? You wrote it in 4. So when the dread hits, remember, you're standing at the maximum. It only goes downhill from here. The worst moment of the task is the one right before it begins, and you're already in it. There's one more thing working in your favor once you start. Psychologists found that unfinished tasks occupy your brain rent-free. They nag at you until you close the loop. It's why cliffhangers keep you watching. Before you start, that nagging works against you as dread. But the second you begin, the exact same wiring flips sides. Now your brain wants to finish. Starting doesn't just reduce the pain, it recruits it. Which brings us to the move that beats all of this. And it starts with a truth nobody tells you. Motivation doesn't come before action. It comes after. You've been waiting to feel ready. But the brain scan version of reality is backwards. Starting is what generates the feeling of wanting to continue. Action first, motivation second, every time. So stop trying to start the task. Shrink it until starting is stupid. Don't write the report. Open the document and write one ugly sentence. Don't do the workout. Put on your shoes and step outside. 2 minutes, that's the whole assignment. It slides under your brain's threat radar. And once you're in, the dread has already collapsed. Remember, it was front-loaded. And the dopamine from that first checked box is already paying out. One upgrade makes it near automatic. Decide when and where in advance. Not, I'll work out more. When I get home Tuesday, I put on my shoes before I sit down. Psychologists call these implementation intentions, and in study after study, they double or triple follow-through. You're not relying on willpower in the moment. You made the decision back when there was no dread to fight. So here's your system. Name the feeling. Shrink the start. Pay yourself early. That's it. One last upgrade. Stop relying on the moment entirely and rig the room instead. The night before, lay out everything the task needs. Shoes by the door, document open on the screen, phone in another room. Every object you have to go get is a doorway for your brain to escape through. Every object already in place is one less decision. The people who look disciplined aren't fighting harder battles than you. They've just designed rooms where the battle never starts. So no, you're not lazy. You've got a brain that avoids bad feelings, treats your future self like a stranger, and pays you at the wrong time. You're not broken. You're wired that way. And now that you can see the wiring, you can change the pattern. Next up, why your brain forces you to replay conversations at 2 a.m. Spoiler, it thinks it's protecting you. I've already got it queued for you right here. I'm Sparky, subscribe, and I'll see you inside your head next week.